a nexus here. You have a service treatment records, you have an in-service event, and you have a diagnosis, but you do not have a doctor with a medical opinion saying that this current diagnosis in 2023 is a result from these service treatment records and this in-service event in 1975. And again, you need to get that, but the other thing, going a little bit farther down the rabbit hole, they're going to fight you on the last 45 years, even when you show up with a nexus. And then going down a little bit further, this is a back pain claim. You know, file whatever claim that you want to file. This is your claim. You're in charge of your own destiny with your veterans benefits. You earned them, you served, all that kind of stuff, but you do have to prove it. But along that path, you know, what are you going after? Are you going after a higher rating so you could get paid more money, more benefits? Maybe you're not service connected at all and you're trying to get to 30% so you get dependent pay. Usually there's some kind of upward momentum. So not all back claims, just most of them. If you're not familiar with the criteria and you don't meet the criteria for any rating, you could go get a nexus, win this claim, and get 0% because your back's not that bad, according to the VA. In reality, your back's bad. You go to a real doctor, they're going to be like, dude, I can't even believe you're still walking. But the way the VA laws are written, the rating criteria, the 38 CFR, it's, you know, 0, you have this, 10, you have this, 20, you have this, 40, you're dead and your back's broken in half, and 100's this. I don't have the back ratings in front of me, but you should look at your disability. Is it even worth filing a claim for? It sucks and it's ludicrous that you have to make these kind of calculations before you file a disability claim, but that's what the VA is doing. They use the combined ratings table and they throw all sorts of hurdles in there. So make sure this claim is the best claim that, you know, you can file and you want to fight. So there's something there for you to fight for. If you're just fighting for 0% or 10%, that seems like a waste of time to me. One exception would be if you're at 94% and you need to get to 95 to get 100 and you need 1 point, which equals 10 points on the combined rating table, that's when I would fight this one. Most of the time, I wouldn't even bother with this claim. But again, this is me. I give you guys my input, what I see, what works, and then it's up to you to decide what you want to do with it. So when you file your claim, you build it up front. You get your current diagnosis on paper. You don't wonder if you have it. You see it on paper with a diagnostic code, right? Because your doctor wrote you a diagnosis. And then you move over to the symptoms and you've checked the rating criteria and your symptoms, you know, you already checked. This one will get me 20% if I win it. You know, winning is a whole different thing, but at least if I get to where I'm supposed to go, 20%. The doctor says right there, he wrote my diagnostic code and my symptoms. And he said that my disability that I currently have and am filing a claim for is linked to my service. Secondary service connection basis, presumptive, pre-existing, direct, or 1151 claim. One of those 5 ways. That's how you establish service connection. You have to pick that right too. So you can get the diagnosis and the nexus at QTC, VES, or LHI, which is now Optum, and he did get a diagnosis here, but it didn't really, you know, it's a step further. Just think if he would have gone and got the diagnosis, the symptoms, and the nexus up front, then he would have just won this. So understand what you're doing up front before you file a claim. Don't just hand this off to a VSO and not know what's going on. You need to be involved. This is your money. Right? Nobody is affected by your money except for you. So nobody really cares because they're getting their money. However they, you know, do that work, or, you know, maybe it's another disabled veteran. So you need to, you know, take stock in your claim and, you know, what is my chances of getting the increase I'm going after? This is where I'm going for. How do I shouldn't file a claim for this. I should file a claim for that, right? Balance all that stuff out and bring everything up front before you file your claim so you have something to appeal. On this one, he has to go back, get a nexus, and file a supplemental claim. That may or may not work. But again, you know, if this is only going to be 10% and it's $100 a month and it costs money to go get a nexus because your VA doctor won't write one for you, there's better ways to spend that money, in my opinion. So favorable findings. Yes, they are favorable, but it's tricky wordsmithery. The VA does it. That strategy, that's my boot camp. That's what I talk about. I preach it and I teach it. You need a doctor that can help you with a nexus letter. Check out my med team. Here's an email address. Hit them up. Tell them you need a nexus.